Wow, stories.
So recently, there was a girl on Instagram who reached out to my boyfriend. It ended up being a fake account, but before we realized it was someone trolling, we both believed this girl, who was relatively attractive, was coming on to him very aggressively. In her messages, she told him that she would be visiting our town in 2 weeks. That said, before we found out the account was fake, he was talking about how a lot of high-value men have multiple side chicks and the following below. I just hope you understand. I am biologically wired to sleep with as many good-looking women as possible. I would like to be appreciated for suppressing that urge. When I pushed back on that biologically wired comment, he said the following: "Better be on your best behavior these next 2 weeks, Victoria, I swear to God." I'm at a loss for words. I was so upset, and he basically said a lot of other men would cheat in his position, and that I should appreciate his loyalty. I believe loyalty is the bare minimum in a relationship. It was my birthday that morning, and he bailed because his sleep schedule is all messed up, and I didn't give him a hard time. I was kind and kept my tears to myself as I was driving to the beach alone. Is this true? Should I really feel lucky that he didn't cheat? And what about the behavior comment? How am I supposed to feel secure in this relationship when he's essentially saying if I irritate him, he will just take up that opportunity, the opportunity that ended up being fake? I don't know. Now for an update, July 18th. Hi everyone, I want to give you all an update and clear up a few things. First, I want to sincerely thank you all for taking the time to respond to my post. It seriously opened my eyes. I can't explain it, but it was like something switched in my brain. I sat in the parking lot outside of Ulta for hours, just rereading the comments over and over again. I was scared to post this at first, and I was about to delete it because he is active on Reddit, but I'm glad I didn't. Your experiences and words taught me a lot and made me realize I was dating an actual sexist. To answer some questions, no, we don't live together, and we've been dating for almost a year. Some of you have made comments on why I put up with this, and if I were high value, I would have left. And I can't say I blame you for thinking that. I guess I'm just naive. I don't really have anyone. I grew up in a really strict Catholic household, was very sheltered, and my dad passed when I was a kid. Both my parents are immigrants, so I spent my entire 20s just working and going to school. I was with one man before him, and he broke my heart to sleep around after 5 years. It took me 3 years to date again, so when I finally did, I met this guy, and he was great at first. He wasn't like this in the beginning. However, as I was reading through the comments and reflecting on our relationship, I started to remember the sly comments he made that went right under my nose and affected me without me realizing. After my post, before I read the comments, I went back to talking to him, and he just doubled down. I realized he doesn't respect me because I'm a woman, and if I stick up for myself, he calls me argumentative and says I give him no peace. Before I get ahead of myself, I'll give you a brief version of how that conversation went below. First, I got really mad and said, "Why do you keep bringing up the fact that you should be appreciated for being loyal? Should you appreciate me for being patient and understanding of the fact you're without a job? A lot of women wouldn't put up with that, and instead of appreciating that I'm really understanding, you kick me when I'm down and ruin my birthday." He then responds and says, "Oh yeah? How would you feel if I said, you are overweight and expect me to appreciate you? If anything, you should appreciate how patient I have been with your weight." This broke me. For context, I'm 5 feet 3 inches, 135 pounds, 36B, 29W, 39H. I'm not skinny, but I don't think I'm overweight. That's besides the point though. When he said that, I said, if I'm so overweight and there's nothing to appreciate about me, then just leave. He says, "I appreciate that I'm the second guy you slept with." I haven't responded since. This reminded me of all the times he would say how I'm an exception, because women my age are usually a lot more experienced, and he wasn't sure about me because of my age at first, and that every guy knows this deep down, they just won't say it to my face. I'm crying as I type this because I realize how much he's made me hate myself and how depressed he's made me. I look in the mirror and I feel fat, ugly, and old. I hide my face from crowds when I commute to work because I'm scared men will look at me and think, she's hit the wall. He's messed with my psyche and I should have left sooner. But I have bad attachment issues and it may be due to my lack of experience. However, reading the comments gave me hope and strength despite this empty darkness I feel inside. That's how he's made me feel. Dark inside and hopeless, like I'm nothing more than what's between my legs and youth. Also, I read through every single comment, and I'm sorry if I didn't respond to all of them. I've just been taking it all in instead. Especially reading comments from men saying he's a jerk and not agreeing with him helps me a lot, and teaches me that not all men are like this. I just happened to get involved with a jerk. Some of you mentioned going no contact, and I'm taking your advice and have already started going no contact. One lady mentioned how a boyfriend said something similar to her, and he ended up cheating. Thank you for sharing your experience. That comment got to me and snapped me out of my stupor. I've already started no contact since 6 p.m. It's now 11 p.m. here. I'm sticking to it. I'm ready to love myself and know my worth. I never realized how worthless I felt. I became so depressed I would drive with no music on, forget showers, and just rot. I feel pathetic for admitting that, but I'm admitting this so I can go back to this post and remember how low I felt. Thank you all for your advice and for waking me up. I never knew all it took was me reaching out to strangers on the internet. Gives me hope in humanity. Thank you all. Please don't delete any of your comments, as I will be coming back to this post a lot as I begin the healing process. Now for an update. July 19th, I am going to start therapy. After work, I am going to look for a therapist near me who accepts insurance. When I would wake up in the middle of the night last night, I came back to this post to read your comments, and I can't express how thankful I am. Every single comment hit, and I feel like you all snapped me out of whatever I was in. I realize and am realizing more and more that my mindset is not normal and that I have very, very low self-esteem. It explains why people at work would ask if I was okay out of nowhere. They must see it on my face. I am also wondering if I do have some sort of body dysmorphia, based on some of the comments. On another note, I woke up and was so happy to see more people respond because it just gave me more and more strength to keep no contact. Before reading the comments this morning, I woke up feeling sad and just empty. But I forced myself out of bed and made it on the train on time for work. I could have worked from home, but I knew it wouldn't do me any good to sit home alone with my thoughts. I came back to my post on the train, and I swear I feel more light come back into me the more comments I read. I wish I had friends like you all back at home, but maybe it's good that my identity is hidden so I can work on myself and not catch the attention of manipulators. I looked up emotional abuse based on your comments, and I do believe I was being emotionally abused by him and my previous partner. Part of me is concerned for myself because I'm 29, and I'm just now learning a lot when it comes to relationships, personalities, and people, basically anything outside of work. But I won't be hard on myself anymore. At least I will try not to. Thank you all. I love you all so much. Victoria. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. OP. The only people I've ever heard use the phrase high-value men have been raging misogynists who were also scumbags. From those I know well enough to say, they were all also cheaters, or people who would cheat if ever given the opportunity. I mean, seriously, the guy is trash. Just dump him and be so glad he showed you who he truly is. That scammer just did you the biggest favor of your life. Comment 2. Ew. Throw that entire man away. Behaving like a toddler having a tantrum with no adult accountability, self-respect, or self-control. Gross. You know you deserve to be adored, respected, and cared for, right? Your function in life is not to assist and please men like some sort of demand robot. Now for the update. The day after I decided to cut ties with my ex-boyfriend, my sister texted me asking if I was okay. Apparently, she saw my ex out at a local bar with some friends, which I thought was super weird since he knew I was struggling. I told her everything that happened and how I was just trying to move on. My sister suggested we have a girls' night to distract me, so we planned to go to this popular pizza place. It had been a while since I had some good pizza, so I was totally in. So there we are at dinner, and my sister brings up this recent party where she saw my ex flirting with another girl. I mean, seriously, he couldn't even wait a week. My sister insisted that I should be careful, especially since he had been acting strange lately. I decided to take her advice and just focus on myself instead of stressing over him. I was done with all his drama. The next week, I started this new fitness class to meet people and work on my confidence. Honestly, it was an awesome workout, and I was loving it. I met a few friendly faces in the class and we started hanging out after sessions. One of the girls, Mia, was really cool and invited me to a beach bonfire with her friends. I agreed to join and just have some fun. At the bonfire, I overheard a conversation about a recent breakup, and I heard someone mention my ex's name. I leaned in closer to catch more details and realized they were talking about how he was seeing someone else. I mean, really? This guy just doesn't stop. I excused myself from the group and called my sister, telling her what I just heard. She was just as shocked and suggested I confront him directly. But I wasn't ready for that. I decided to gather more info first. I started following this girl on Instagram, keeping an eye on her posts for any clues. A few days later, I saw a photo of her at a party wearing the same shirt my ex had posted a picture in. Okay, that's it. I decided to show up at the next party my sister told me about. I told my sister about the plan, and she was totally down to come with me for support. The night of the party, I wore this bold outfit that made me feel super confident. I wanted to show him what he was missing. When we arrived, I spotted my ex across the room, just laughing it up with this girl. I mean, the nerve. I approached him, and he looked shocked to see me there. He tried to play it cool, but I could see he was nervous. I asked him directly about the girl, and he just stammered through this explanation that made no sense. My sister chimed in, recalling everything I had shared with her about his behavior. He just stood there with this confused look on his face. The girl overheard us and turned to defend him, claiming they were just friends. Yeah, right. I calmly pointed out the photo of them together from the party, and you could feel the tension in the air. My ex's friends started whispering, clearly uncomfortable with the whole situation. I decided to take it up a notch and just called him out for his disrespect. The girl tried to laugh it off, but I firmly stated that he was not a good boyfriend. My ex's friends started backing away, leaving him exposed in front of everyone. I mean, what were they gonna do? Defend him? I turned to leave, feeling like I had just ruined his night. I spent the next few days hanging out with my new friends from the fitness class. They were just awesome and made me forget about him for a while. I received a message from Mia inviting me to another event, which I gladly accepted. The night ended with my friends and me planning a weekend getaway, leaving him out of my thoughts completely. Honestly, it felt amazing just focusing on myself and surrounding myself with people who actually cared about me. I knew I was going to be okay, and he was just a bad memory now. Edit. My ex had been seeing the other girl for over a month. Confronting him helped me see my worth.